Hey, hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. This is Intro to JavaScript with P5.js, class number 12. And today we're going to be reviewing music visualization. And thank you all for being here and supporting this long series. And today we're going to look in detail on this code. And I have placed the code on Slack. If you go here on Thursday class, you're gonna find the code and you can just click on that link and it's gonna take you to the P5.js editor. And once you are there, you can click duplicate. So it's saved into your account. So this is the code that we've been looking at. And there's the music visualization for like rectangles. And when you play it, fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Oh, that was scary. I hope you guys didn't get scared. We're gonna get the music visualization of the unicorns dancing on rainbows. And we're gonna go through how to upload the song, the file, and how the arrays work with this song. So you can give me the thumbs up that you have this code available, open on your P5.js editor, then I can go ahead and start. So you can just give me a thumb up or let me know either on the Zoom chat or on Slack. So once you have that here, you have your code. So let's go through the steps to upload the file. First, you need to have, and everything is detailed on the handout. So you don't have to look at the handout now, but if you forget, you can look at the handout. So you're gonna upload the file. I'm gonna put the file on Slack. So let me add it to Slack. And that's gonna be this one. Okay, so it's on Slack, it's an MP3 file. An MP3 file means that it's an audio file. Once you go on Slack, you click on this cloud and it's gonna download to your computer. So just be mindful where it goes into your computer. So once you download it to your computer, let me know. Okay, good. So it got downloaded to your computer. And now we're gonna upload it. So the trick is here. We have to open here on the sketch file panel. You're gonna go here on the code that I just shared with you, the folding rectangles. And you're gonna go right here on this right arrow, and a panel is gonna open. So once you have the panel open, let me know. It's not gonna show for you. Mine is showing, but for you, it's not gonna show. I mean, it's gonna show for you, but we're gonna upload it anyway. We just gonna have two files. Because I know you all want to review this, how to upload this file. So once you have the sketch files panel open, you're gonna click on the down arrow, and it's gonna be a choice for upload the file. Okay, so if I just gonna show this, you don't need to upload the song, because we have, when you duplicated the file, you also when you duplicated the code that I put here on Slack, and you duplicate it into your editor, also you duplicate it all, you carry with you all the files. So you don't have to upload it. I'm just showing you so you all know if you want to do it yourself. So if you want to do it yourself in another project, you're going to open the panel, sketch files. You're going to go here, down arrow, and then upload the file. And then you can find the location of your pink unicorn file. And you can either drag it. Mine is not going to let me drag it. So I have to click here, and then I'm going to go to the location and I'm going to find the file. And if you have as many files as I do, it's going to take you a long time, but I just did a sort, and you just pick the pink unicorn and files and open it, and then it's going to download. For here, it's going to download twice. So so it's download as a duplicate, yeah, one. It's not going to hurt anything. Okay, and then make sure you go to a Sketch.js. Okay. Sketch.js is where you have your P5.js JavaScript code. So don't go anywhere else, just go to Sketch.js. Make sure you have it highlighted. That's the way you upload an MP3 file. You do the same thing if you want to upload an image file. Okay, so everybody got it? Yeah, good. So now let's talk. So now we can close this panel and just click this left arrow, and it hides. We hide the panel. Okay, so if you want to go, you can then test it and make sure it's working, and it should play the song.
Big fluffy unicorns dancing.
And then to stop it, you just click the stop. Let's talk about how to connect that file we uploaded with the code. So right now it's in the computer, but we need to send it to the code. So the first thing is we have to declare a variable. So all the steps to do that are in the handout. So I'm going to just read it here so you know what I'm talking about. And you upload the file. And then when you reference the audio on your code, any file, the complete name must be used. So just be mindful, the name of the file, it's very important. So you might want to have it open so you know what to talk, what reference. Then you know, we need to add some code, and there is already some code that we have to use. So that is already common P5.js. So the first thing is we need to declare a variable. We declare the variable right here. Declare a variable to contain the song. So the first thing that we do is we start with let song. So song is the variable. Remember, it's the cup, the drawer that is going to contain the file, the MP3. Then we have to put some P5.js code so it'll get that song into the code. And the way you do it is with this function preload. So you just write it, and it has to be before anything else, before your function setup. Remember the function setup? This has to be before the function setup. It cannot be after, it has to be before. Why? Because that file needs to be called, and then it needs to, the computer is gonna read it. So remember, this is all code works in sequence. First this part, then the second, then the third part, and so on. So if you call the song here, the first thing is gonna load up. So now the song is in the code, it's in readable. And then we can say, okay, play the song. But if we play the song first, and then later on we call the song, it's not right because we don't have a song to play. So it's like if you have did you remember how CDs work? First you have to put the CD in the CD player and then click play. So this function preload is like you manually are putting the CD inside the CD player. So you're gonna write function preload, that's a P5.js function, and then you're going to write this code here. So that code load sound is gonna allow to get your song, the file. And remember, the file has to be typed perfectly the same than your MP3 file. So there is a connection between the two. Otherwise, the computer is not gonna know how to find that file. So the load sound is gonna call the song, and then the song, the pink unicorn MP3 is gonna be placed into the variable song. And this variable song can be anything. You can call it kitty cats, but I just use song. You can call it, your name, anything that, as long as it's not a function or a command recognizable by P5.js. So we have 2 steps so far. Declare the variable, and then we use the preload to call the song. Okay, so how good are we good? Any questions so far? The next step, we're gonna go inside. So what is the next thing we haven't done? We call the MP3, we store it in our code under the variable song. And it's, if we see, follow the analogy of putting the CD in a CD player. We put the CD in the CD player. What you do after you put the CD in the CD player? What's it called? The button you push. You push after you put the CD in the CD drive. So you put the CD in the CD drive, and then you press what button? Do you press the off button? Play, exactly, very good. Thank you. Play. So you have to play the song. So now we need to tell the computer, play the song. So all we do is song.play. That's all you do. And as soon as you do that, it's gonna, the song start playing. And since it's under the function setup, it's gonna play only once. And there is something here peculiar about this way that is written. This is what JavaScript is famous about, and object-oriented programming is famous about, is to compound using a variable and then compound it with a function. So the function here is play, that's part of P5.js, and song is the variable. So that is gonna start happening more and more as you learn more P5.js or JavaScript, is the using functions, built-in functions to modify an object. And the object in this case in song. And when I say object, it means like it's almost like a physical thing that works, that lives within the computer. In this case, it's a song, a file. So just have that in mind. Make note that this is something that is gonna be more and more in common when you start learning more JavaScript of P5.js. So yeah, we play the song, then that's wonderful. So at this point, you can play the song without any code. So you don't have to do this. I'm just gonna turn off all this, almost all this, just so you see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna turn almost all this. And just gonna put the background. So now it should, let me turn this off just in case. It should work, but only the song.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing.
So I actually modify the volume. I turn off the volume slider, so that's why I can get it. But at this point, you can, let me put the volume control so I can talk over it.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
So at this point, you have song play and you're playing the song. So so far it's good. You are able to play an audio file right now with only the code that the song play, and all this is additional. Everything that is below is additional. I just have the background. So if you have a background here and the song play, you are good. You're gonna play a song. And that's all you need to play a song in your code. That's wonderful. However, this lesson for today is music visualization. So what is music visualization? Music visualization is taking some feature of the song that are unique and connected to a drawing feature. So for example, let me see. To explain this graphically. So we had the volume of the song. In this case, for the example of the computer, the volume goes from 0 to 1, which is equivalent to 0 to what? I have it here, about 10. It's just this is the volume of the speaker. But this is the data that the computer is reading. So what it is extrapolated. It's saying the computer is only going to give me value between 0 and 1, but the computer can interpret those values and give me more or less volume. But when this song is going to have a volume. So this is volume 0, and this is the time of the song, and this is volume 1. So it's gonna, when there is no volume, it's gonna be all the way to the bottom. Let me move this up a little bit. So for example, you have, when the song is not playing, you don't have any volume. When the song is very loud, you have this point. But in between, you have some other values like this. And that's what we're gonna visualize. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw lines, and the lines are gonna be sometimes are gonna be down, sometimes they're gonna be up, and they're gonna be able to read the volume. So remember, this is an X and Y. So the X, it's just gonna be the pixels like we always do, like in the canvas, we have X and Y. So when we draw, we have it in pixels. So we have right and down. So this is more, and this is X plus. So when we go to the right, we do, if this is 0, we do +5 would be 5 pixels. And then it'll be 5 pixels, 10 pixels, so on, until we get to the total width. And the same thing down here, we have 0 pixels, and then we have 5, 10, until we have the height. So the height and then the width. And that's how we draw. You remember, that's how we draw. But in this case, will be interesting if we change the Y for the volume. So now we're gonna draw this dependent of the volume. So if the volume is high, if the volume is really high, we're gonna go up or low. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. So when I'm playing the song,
Big fluffy rainbows, big fluffy unicorns dancing.
you're gonna see I have the volume, but let me turn on everything else. So you know what I'm talking about.
Big fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
And I already got a message that I didn't turn off something. Line 50. Line 50. If I can get level, because, oh, here it is. Okay.
Big fluffy rainbows. Big fluffy
So what is going here? This line is going with the value of the volume. So it's the value of the volume. So you're gonna see if I increase the volume, it's gonna go down.
fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Big 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 fluffy unicorns.
So that's why it's called music visualization, because we're seeing how the volume grows or decreases by the drawing. So more volume, you're gonna see the lines and the rectangles go down the canvas. Less volume, they're gonna get closer to the top of the canvas. So more volume, less volume. More volume, less volume. And what I changed the Y. The Y now is the value of the volume. Okay? So any questions so far? And after I explain that, we're gonna go through the array. I just wanna, that's the key of visualization. The music visualization, if you ever seen a music visualization, like if you have an Apple, an iTunes, you're gonna see it. These are things they change with the music, and that's what we're doing now. We're changing the height of the bars, of the rectangles, with the volume. So more volume, they're gonna go further down, less volume, they're gonna stay up. So you can create very interesting music visualization. And if you change the song, also the volume will change and it'll be a different drawing. Okay, so is that clear, or I just wanna know. So the basic understanding, this basic part is that the music, the drawing is gonna take some value from the music and change. In this case, is the volume. Okay, cool. So let's look what I'm changing. So we have here the sound and we have here song play. To be able to capture the volume of the song, I need to put another code called, is this one. So it's new p5.amplitude. So amplitude is the technical name for volume. So amplitude and volume, same thing. It's just one is used in music industry, engineering, music engineering sound, and volume is what we all use it outside of the field of sound engineer. But it's the same thing. So you're gonna use this code, and you have first, you notice there is a variable here. So you need to declare a variable called amp. So this is declare the variable. Very easy, right? Then you're gonna go inside the function draw, and you're gonna write this. This is just boilerplate code. You just have to know it. Then you're gonna get another, declare another variable, but this is a local variable. And you just write this line, and what it is it's gonna get the data transformed into this. It's gonna start collecting the data. Then follow me here. Then you're gonna connect the volumes and put it in a list, a big list called array. So what is gonna happen is, and the computer right now is reading the volumes. This is, let me draw it here. So it's gonna start no volume, volume, and then maybe more volume. And then we turn it on. So this is 0 and 1. When you put the amplitude of volume, this function is gonna only read 0 and 1. So 1 would be the maximum volume and 0 is no volume. Does it mean that the volume is 0 and 1? No, it's just that's the way the data, we're gonna get the data. So we're gonna get values from 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0.9, and so on. So that's what this is here. This one is collecting. So that one is collecting 0.1, 0.2, whatever the volume is doing, whatever, it's gonna give me this value 0.1, 0.5, 0.9, 0.7. And then we have to put those somewhere. And that's where the array comes from. So all this data is gonna go in an array. So this is gonna be 0.2, 0.3, 0.5, 0. Let's do this 0.4, 4 and 4, 0.3, and they can repeat, 0.8, and so on and so on, so on, so on to the end of the song. So this is gonna go and go and go until the song ends. Until the song ends. This is an array. And that array is called AMP history. But let's just put this right now, put a clip on it. Hold on, I just want to mention that, then we'll talk about the array. So we have to put that in the array. So we have those data in the array. So what do we do with those now? So this code here, ignore the begin shape and end shape. I'll tell you later. It's gonna draw the lines that you see going up and down. So what it's gonna do, this vertex is gonna draw points. So vertex is P5JS reference. So you go to the reference and then you put vertex and you find out what is a vertex. So see, it draw points, And what you need is the position in the canvas, X, Y, or Z, but we're gonna use X and Y. So the width and the height. Remember, the height goes from the top down. So we get 2 points, X and Y, X and Y, X and Y, and we get a point. So our X is gonna be the I. So we'll hold on the I, and the Y is gonna be the volume. Remember we talked about the volume. It's gonna be the volume. So the Y is gonna be the volume. So the Y sometimes it's gonna be 0.2, sometimes it's 0.3, and so on. So the Y is not gonna be the height of the canvas anymore. It's gonna be the value of that. And then it's gonna draw a point. And I'm do 500 because to get it bigger. Because if I don't do 500, it'll draw like this. Can you imagine? If I draw something like this in the canvas, it'll be like this. You won't be able to see it. So I just do 0.2500 and it gives me a bigger number. So we can see it. And that's what it draws the line. So this one.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows.
So this one, the line graph, is what is getting drawn right now on this code. Okay? Not rectangles, on the lines.
Dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing.
Okay, how is that? So you can use the volume to change the drawing, and your drawing is gonna follow the song. So are we okay with that? And then I'm gonna explain you the array. I just wanna know if we're okay so far. The array is going to, we have a for loop. Remember I told you the for loop is gonna go through each place in the array. So for example, if I have an array here, a very simple array of 4, we have I, that's the position, I, 1, 2, 3. And we talk about why I, because we like I. People just love I. You can put, you know, pink unicorns, you can put zebras, but people like I. And then and people like J's. It's just, if you ever take a computer science classes, it's gonna be I and J is something else. But it's related to arrays, but I don't wanna get my head of myself. So you can put here A, B, and C, and D. And it could be letters or numbers. So you do a for loop for let I, so it's a local variable, let I equals 0. And then while I is less than the length of the array, and then we move this. It moved too much. And then it's gonna be I plus plus. So what's gonna happen if we have a table? I always do this table, always. I, and this is I plus. So I is 0, is at the beginning. So it's I, so let's do this. Is I less than the array, the length of the array? Yes. So that's correct. And then what is the output? What the computer is gonna spit out or read is gonna be A. Once I do that, so actually it's the other way around. Let me do this again. So this is the output, this is out, and this is the condition. So it's I less than the length of array. No, it's the other way around. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. So this is the condition, I is less than the length of array, and this is the output. So if this is true, I output, and then I plus. I plus. See, I'm gonna be wrong. So we go, so let's just run it. So it's gonna be, so let's do this here. And maybe I need to, yes, everything fits here. Okay, so I is equal 0. And then we have the output. And then we do, we check, is I less than the length is true. Then we get the output, and then we do I plus plus, which is will be 2. And then we do, this is, 1. Sorry, I'm all messed up today. 1. So what is in 1? We have B. Oh, first we check. So is I less than length of the array? Yes, it's true. So we can proceed. What is in 1 is B. And then we go 2. So 2 is 2 less than the length. So the length of the array is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the length of the array. So yes, 2 is less than 4. So we do, what will be the output? So if we have I equal 2, what do we write as the output? Anybody knows? You can write on the chat or on Slack. So we're going through the array. So the first one is I equals 0. the output is A, C. Exactly, C. Very good, thank you. And then we can go to the next one. So it will be 3, and then we go to 3. Is 3 less than 4? True. The output is D. And then we do 4. So we do here 4. Is 4 less than 4? False. And then we stop. Okay? You want me to repeat it? So this is a very simple array, but you're not always going to have simple arrays. Most of the time, you're going to have huge arrays. So this is also an introduction to data science. How to take data from physical things like pictures or songs, and then use it and modify it and reconstruct it. So it's a very fascinating way to use code. And if you still get confused when you run it, I suggest you just write down this table. I always do it when I'm running code. This is running code in cold code. So running in the cold. So you are running in, with a pencil and paper, and it helps you understand the process. Okay, so I think if you have any question, let me know, I'll stop. So the same thing is gonna happen here, but at a bigger extent because we have a longer array. The array is the length of the song. Of course, I don't know how big that array is. So the array that we have now is collecting the volume values into an array, into this. It's collecting all this value, but I don't know how long it is. So all you do is write the array, that length. When you do the name of the array, that length, then the computer is going to give you the array length. So you don't have to know it. So we have I equals 0, I is less than the total length of the array, and the I plus plus. But before you do that, you have to create an array. So the way you create it is very easy. You just put the name of the array, let amp equal 2 brackets. It means that you created an empty array. So you just tell the computer, we're going to create this array. Just hold on, make room for it in your memory, and just stay there, stand by, because I'm going to add things to it. So that you do as a global variable. And then right here, remember we did, we start adding values to the array with the command push. So this is a require. This is required. This is just something you have to do. You use this code, then you use this code. This is just boilerplate. You just write it like that. You can change the name of the variable. You don't have to call it AMP or AMP value. That's something I came up with. And then you're gonna start adding those values into the array with something called push. So push, and then inside it's gonna be amp values. So basically, if the volume is 0.1, it's gonna be push 0.1. And then if the volume is 0.3, it's gonna push 0.3. So these two lines, that's what it is. And then we have an empty array that is gonna be adding values. And then we're gonna call now that is full. So now this is got full with all the volume, all the amplitude, and then we're gonna multiply 500 so we can see, because otherwise we're gonna see push line between 0.1 and between 0 and 1, and we're not gonna be able to see it. So I just multiply by 500, so it'll be big, and the I is gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3 to the end, which is gonna be the pixels, the length of the canvas. And this begin shape and end shape is something, it's a function, built-in function that you do. So the vertex here, when you do vertex, you get lines. So for example, to draw this TikTok, you see it has vertex, but if you put begin shape and end shape, it's gonna connect all the dots. Okay, and that's how you do the lines. Any questions? And you can start just with this, what you learn here, this boilerplate that I showed you, you can start modifying your, if you don't like vertex, you can put circles, you can put rectangles. It's just one of the positions, either X or Y, has to be in function of the volume. Any questions so far? And this one is just something, so it keeps moving left. So to do the rectangles, so the rectangles are moving with the volume, is very simple. I just under the functions, and this is something I just told you like last week or 2 weeks, how to draw function, how to make your own functions. So I just gonna go here to the move function, and before we only had these 2 lines. That means that the rectangles are moving. But now I'm gonna put the rectangles are gonna move in function of the amplitude. So that's why I put here Y. So Y is gonna change depending on the volume. So that's why they are moving. And then when I draw the rectangles, I'm gonna add Y. So this is one set of rectangles, and this is the second set of rectangle, and they have 25 minus 30, so they are a little bit higher. So let me, and then the X, this one is just, it move, you have rectangles every 80 pixels.
Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. Pink fluffy unicorns.
Sure, I can send it to you right now, which is, I didn't change it much. I'm just gonna put it here. So you can change it. There are other very cool visualizations you can do. The Zoom recordings, if you go to our but if anybody wants to watch the videos, you can go here to our site, evpl.org. You click here where it says YouTube, and it's gonna take you to the YouTube site, and you're gonna find, this is the one from last week. And if you click on playlist, you can also find the playlist for these classes. It's not showing right away, but they are here, right here. So this is the playlist. Google. Let me, if I hit here, view playlist, you're gonna see this series. Oh no, this is the series from last summer. You have to go all the way to the bottom and find this series.